Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of BaTtle Royale. Like BaTtle, bring a trailer tool royale on Jimports. We put bring a trailer auction cars in the ring to see which one walks away with the bigger price tag. Today, digging into some insane January 2025 bring a trailer results, breaking it down by decade. 60s, 70s, 80s, face off. Trust me, there are some real surprises in this one, so let's kick it off with a 60s showdown. A 1969 Ferrari Dino 206 GT versus a 1969 Iso Grifo 7-liter Series 1. Don't even know what that is. Iso. One, arguably the greatest Ferrari ever made. The other, an Italian supercar stuffed with an American V8 like a fucking cheeseburger lasagna or something. Goddamn, that actually sounds pretty tasty. Let's start with the Dino. No, we're not talking that weird brontosaurus dog from the Flintstones. By the way, do you think Fred picked up Dino's shit or he just let him take monster dino dumps in Barney's lawn? If you were an Italian rich kid in the late 60s, this was the Ferrari your dad bought after he Chianti drunk wrecked his V12 Daytona. The Dino isn't technically a Ferrari, doesn't even have a Ferrari badge on it. It was a Ferrari experiment named after Enzo Ferrari's late son Dino, who helped develop the V6 engine in this car before his untimely death. It was Ferrari's first mid-engine road car, but instead of a screaming V12, you got a 2-liter all-aluminum V6 making 178 horsepower. Doesn't sound like a lot, but the car was also all aluminum, making it very light with handling sharper than Mac the Knife. Only 152 2-liter models were built, making them super rare. Let me tell you a dirty secret. Fiat built the engines, not Ferrari. This specific car lived in Lucca, Italy with its original family for 50 years and underwent a 2-year restoration in 2016. It has a mere 45,000 miles on the clock. How much did this one sell for? First, let's talk about the Iso Grifo. This car is one brutal Italian-American hybrid like Sylvester Stallone eating a calzone when he's all alone listening to Chappelle Roan. Okay, that was weirder than this Italian mutt car with a Chevy engine in it. Iso, and it could be Izzo, I don't know, I'm really sorry. A small Italian manufacturer best known for making a bubble car decided they wanted to stop getting sand kicked in their faces by Ferrari at the beach, so they got into the gym and started injecting horse testosterone directly into their car's glutes. They actually poached a Ferrari engineer to make this car, and they jammed a 7-liter Chevy 427 V8 under the hood, 435 horsepower, an Italian stallion, 4-speed manual, top speed over 170 miles per hour, much, much faster than the meager 140-ish miles an hour. By the Dino, it was faster than the Dino's juiced-up Geppetto of a dad even, the V12 Daytona. Italian designed lines, a Corvette engine you can work on with your Craftsman tool set in your driveway. This example was one of just 66 built with the 427 engine, and it was finished in an original shade of azzurro metallizzato, also known as yellow. It sat in storage for 40 years before being fully restored in 2022, meaning it's in immaculate condition with 54,000 miles, on par with the Ferrari, but the price wasn't. The Iso is a lot of money at $475,000, but it got absolutely piped by the Dino, which sold for $1 million. Half the price of the Ferrari, twice the engine, but collectors love Ferrari. They'll pay top dollar for a low production specimen like this Dino. Amazing car that spent half a century in the motherland. We're done with the 60s. Put on your disco shoes because we are going to the 70s with a really cool European sports coupe showdown. Two beautiful cars of the era, a BMW versus an Alfa. Two legends. German precision engineering versus Italy's unreliable, gorgeous, dog shit artwork. Which one won? Let's start with BMW's 3.0 CS. If you've ever fantasized about wearing a turtleneck under a leather jacket while meeting an informant at a West Berlin cafe before going home to your hot but smelly girlfriend with a bob haircut and full bush, this is the car for you. The E9 3.0 CS, you're weird, but this is the car for you. This was the foundation for BMW's motorsport dominance. This was the era when BMW was going all in on performance. 3.0 CS, sleek, sophisticated, most importantly, straight six engine that sang like Peak Hasselhoff, pushing 180 horsepower through a 5-speed manual. Might not sound like much now, but back in the early 70s, this thing could comfortably cruise at 130 miles per hour on the Autobahn, and it handled better than almost anything else on the road at the time. This is a pillarless coupe design. That means there's no metal between the front and the back windows and a lot of space. You can roll down all the windows, flex on lesser cars with your quasi-convertible, like a no pants but a shirt Winnie the Pooh convertible. And those Barani wheels, wood-trimmed interior, absolute class. Dude, I've talked this car up so much, I literally want one right now. What a handsome car this is. I like this one a lot. This example had some refinished bright work. It's not perfect. Some retrimmed tan leather interior, fresh suspension and engine work. Not a show car, but a well-sorted driver. If you would have bought that Dino for $1 million, you would have let that son of a bitch sit in a museum or maybe driven it once a year, something like that. This is a car you could drive every day. But let's talk about the Italian now, the Alfa Romeo GTV 2000. Two similar cars, right? Both of them are two-door, pillarless, sport coupes, sedans that you can ID as 70s Euro cars, even if you're at the bottom of a bottle of limoncello. The GTV, beautiful design, light handling, but suffers from typical Italian car problems. No rust proofing at all, meaning that most of these cars fell apart faster than Britney Spears' marriages. But this one is in pretty good shape, mainly because it spent 30 years in storage before getting a few mechanical upgrades to get it in tip-top running shape. The GTV 2000 was the final evolution of Alfa's 105 series coupes, which means it had many of the kinks worked out already. Was it still a little finicky with its unreliable fuel injection system and a weak second gear synchro that would have had you grinding like Bill Clinton at Magic City? Yes. But as far as Italian cars go, it wasn't too bad. Under the hood, it's got a 2-liter dual overhead cam inline 4. Yes, smaller engine than the BMW, 50% fewer cylinders, 50% fewer liters, but it still pushed 130 horsepower. Sounds pathetic, but here's the thing. This car is also 50% lighter than the BMW at less than 2,300 pounds. A half-ton lighter than the BMW, lighter than a first-gen Mazda Miata. This car's in gorgeous condition. Both of these cars have about 100,000 miles on them, so they've been run. First question, which one wins in a race? Second, which one went for more money? This would be one cripple fight of a drag race, to be honest with you. The BMW takes 8 seconds to hit 60, the Alfa 9 seconds. It's light and nimble, but as they say, no replacement for displacement. Which one sold for more? The BMW went for $42,250. Not bad, not great. The Alfa, this shocked me. $61,000, almost $20,000 more than the BMW. Funny enough, I don't think I'd pay $20,000 for either of these cars, but they are pretty. Now it's our last matchup. Time to roll up your blazer sleeves and snort a fat-ass line to some Depeche Mode because it's time for the 1980s, Ronald Reagan. Two of the most legendary 80s supercars ever made. Both bedroom poster royalty. Both absolutely unhinged for their time. First up, the Porsche 959, the most advanced car on the planet in the 80s, a twin-turbo, all-wheel drive, 444 horsepower, heat-seeking missile of a car that could hit 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, top out at 200 miles an hour. Ferrari and Lamborghini were still out there making V12 dinosaurs with carbs, while Porsche made a tiny 4-cylinder engine that would still beat the pants off of nearly every Tesla today. Twin turbos, all-wheel drive, 6-speed manual, active suspension, Kevlar body panels, smoother and sexier than a Phil Collins hook. But not all 959s were the same. There were two versions of this supercar, the Sport and the Comfort. The Sport model was the stripped-down, hardcore track racer, less weight, stiffer suspension, more aggressive tuning. Think of it like Porsche's version of a track demon. Then you had the Comfort model like this one. Porsche softened it up a little bit for actual road use, adding leather seats, air conditioning, electric windows, a bit more sound insulation so it didn't feel like a race car, but an actual roadworthy Porsche. But make no mistake, this car is still a smoking hot track beast with license plates. This one, factory stock, untouched, 13,000 kilometers on the clock, a car this advanced, this rare, in this original condition, a unicorn. This was supposed to be a barely legal race car for the road, but with so few miles, it spent more time in a climate-controlled garage than on actual pavement. Porsche never crash tested one for US approval, so when Bill Gates bought his, custom seized it immediately. For over a decade, his $1 million supercar sat in a warehouse, completely undrivable. He and a few other collectors, including Paul Allen and Ralph Lauren, lobbied Congress to change the law, arguing that ultra-rare cars like the 959 deserved an exception. In 1999, they finally won, leading to the government to create the show and display exemption for historically significant cars. Gates got his 959 10 years after he bought it. You guys already know that this car is going for a lot of money, which is why it's hilarious. Look at how shitty these videos are from the Bring a Trailer auction. I mean, you're talking about probably a 7-figure car, and they're using shitty-ass cell phone videos, which to me just blows my mind. Somebody called Bob Saget, like America's Funniest Home Videos quality footage. Now, the 959 is cool, but is it Countach? Technically, that doesn't really make any sense because the word Countach, I'm not making this up, is Northern Italian slang for holy shit, which is supposedly what gave this, the most famous Lamborghini of all time, its name after a factory worker yelled out Countach when he first saw the design. Lamborghini Countach 5000 QV is the reason every 80s kid had a poster of a car they couldn't pronounce right next to Cindy Crawford. It's all wedges, scissor doors, Italian drug-fueled design decisions, pure V12 Coke rage. The 5.2-liter V12 made 455 horsepower, but who cares about the numbers when this thing looked like RoboCop's dick? It was loud, it was uncomfortable, it was impossible to see out of. Not even that great to drive, and somehow even less practical than a Ferrari Testarossa. If you were driving one of these, you were either a member of Motley Crue or a pump and dump stockbroker mastermind. This was the Wall Street bang bus, and if you've somehow found yourself behind the wheel, it means you had arrived, probably with an open shirt, gold chain, and a briefcase full of cassette tapes, insider trading documents, and little baggies of white powder. But despite the hype, the Countach was actually not that fast. 0 to 60 time of 4.7 seconds, not bad, but a 1987 Porsche 911 Turbo was faster with an engine half the size of the Countach while being half the price, less than $50,000 in 1987 versus $100,000 for this car. Even so, still one of the most iconic cars of all time, certainly the car most associated with the excess of the 1980s. This 1987 Countach had just 17,000 miles and was finished in Rosa Sevilla. So who won this fight? On the track, not even close. 959 would obliterate the Countach. But at auction, same story. $1.875 million for the Porsche, $700,000 for the Lambo. Looks like technology beats excess every time. That is it for this edition of BaTtle, Bring a Trailer, BaTtle Royale. 3 decades, 3 showdowns, some absolutely absurd auction results. Let me know which of these matchups shocked you the most, and if you had the cash, which one of these cars you would actually buy. Which one of these was the best car? I'll catch you guys on the next one. My channel is pathetic. I have less than 10,000 subscribers. I don't care, I love it. I really enjoy making these videos, but do me a favor and think about subscribing. I'm gonna keep doing these. Do you guys like them? We did pretty well traffic-wise last month on the BaTtle Royale. I think I'll do these a few more times. I'm having a lot of fun learning about cars that I'd never... Iso, what Iso even that? I'm done. Goodbye, guys.